Good morning. Welcome back to Life Lessons with Sheila. I'm so glad that you're here. It's that time of week again, the time we're going to going back to Aita Church Edition. Though this isn't necessarily about church. It is, however, a faith-related question, so I lumped it into this section simply for category purposes. I enjoyed discussing these topics because being a woman of faith, I don't mind talking about the hard things of faith. And let's face it, there are some who will watch faith-based content simply for criticism purposes. That's fine. Everyone is welcome to give their opinion, and your opinions are welcome here. My only request is that you ask yourself if what you want to say is not something that you would say to your mother, wife, sister, or your grandmother, then don't say it here. I am, or have been, all of those things in my lifetime. Currently, I am still someone's daughter, sister, niece, cousin, friend, mother, and grandmother, so I am human, just like you. With that said, let's get on to today's video, shall we? Today's topic came from our favorite forum, Reddit. All names have been redacted for privacy reasons. I, 25 female, am Christian, and my friend, 29 female, is an atheist, and a mother to an 11-year-old girl, but she is not the easiest thing to get along with. She has no mental disorders and comes from a loving family. She has admitted this, who would love to have a relationship with her daughter, but she won't let them. I know she has issues with Christianity specifically. Still, it gets involved with religious conversations because she would insult my intelligence by saying there was no way I could be a Christian and earn a master's in rigorous physical science. I have nothing to say to her about this because to me, science is how God shows their face. We hadn't seen each other in a long time and I wanted to catch up. I was busy all last week, but was free after church on Sunday. I could tell she was annoyed that I couldn't hang out earlier, so I told her that we could hang out after church, get brunch, and go to the movies. Or, if she was that impatient, she could join me at service and then we could do all those things. It was an invitation. She didn't like that because she started talking about how I should know she would never step into church again. Valid, and I apologized. She started talking about how she had religious trauma. She had never told me this before. There was a lot of other stuff in between, but what got my goat was when she said essentially that if she found anything in her house that was about Christianity, she would rip it up or donate it. She would not have anything associated with religion in our home, even though her daughter attends a religious school, the best private school in our area. She and her husband start the day by telling their daughter, remember, Jesus isn't real. I'm unsure how true this statement is because she says many wild things, but she said it. I was shaken because it explained why her daughter had difficulties interacting with kids in her school. One day, my friend vented to me that her daughter came back asking questions about different faiths. I don't know what these questions consisted of. Still, my friend was upset that the kids did not want to be friends with her daughter, but could not see that it was because her kid was freaking the other kids out by telling them that God was not real. Her kid has no friends now, and it makes me very sad. I don't care how you raise your children, as long as they can coexist in a world not curated for them. As someone autistic who didn't have many friends growing up, I understand what it's like to be lonely, like her daughter. This set her off because my friend seemed to think I was calling her a bad mother. I told her that she doesn't even let her daughter have a relationship with her grandparents because they are still active in their church. I said she created a very socially inept and angry child that will turn into a very socially inept and angry adult. We haven't spoken in a month, and I could have handled that better. She did come back and edit. I feel like you guys are only reading me because being a Christian and nothing else. My partner is culturally Jewish and religious agnostic, almost atheist, and we don't plan on raising our kids super religious because I'm not super religious. My biggest complaint is how her intolerance affects her child's social life. I did not warn you guys this was a doozy, did I? Sorry about that. On to the comments. Comment number 1. I honestly think the only reason why it sounds so horrible is because the friend is Christian. I mean, anyone who doesn't believe in God is going to get pushed back. I can't necessarily say that this is bad parenting. As a Christian, I personally would have kept my mouth shut. I have absolutely no idea what it's like raising a child in a household that doesn't believe in God, so who am I to say what type of child you're raising? To me, it's no different than what radical Christians train their kids to be Bible thumpers and send them out in the world. Kids are mean and will think they're weird. However, I'm curious as to why the family is sending this kid to a religious school knowing their views on God. If they feel that strongly about their disdain towards Jesus and God, then why find the next best private school that isn't centered around religion? Sometimes you have to make sacrifices to get what you want. Comment number 2. Honestly, the original poster should have dropped her a long time ago. How can you think your child will fare well socially in a religious school talking about God is not real? She's delusional to think that might not have an effect on her daughter. She knows she effed up that, and that's why she's mad. Comment number 3. I think it's weird that she wouldn't even talk to her parents for attending church, but still has Christian friends and sending her daughter to a Christian school. Seems like both of them are kind of trying to convert each other, lol. Either way, the OP was right about the daughter. They're going to make that kid a neurotic pariah. And are you ready for my thoughts? This may be a bit controversial to some, but my stance is, why are you pushing the friendship? I mean, obviously you have different viewpoints, and apparently everything each of you do will just spur the other on to instantly demanding the other one not to walk in their authentic version of who they ultimately are. I know I isolate myself from the majority of people here on YouTube because I am bold in sharing my thoughts and viewpoints on topics such as faith, parenting, roles in relationships, and business career mindsets. I feel very strongly about all those topics, and no one is going to change my mind. I've come to a comfortable place in my own journey in this life, where I know where I have expertise and where I find my identity. I'm surely not going to try to convert anyone into my thinking. You either get me or you don't. I no longer fight to be understood, but it took a lot of maturing and growing in Christ to be that bold, that solid and unwavering. We all parent our kids differently, and they will learn from our beliefs. Enrolling a child in a faith-based school where you have nothing in common with the core beliefs of that school is doing your child a huge disservice and injustice. It confuses them, and yes, creates them to be placed in many awkward social events, not only throughout their day, but in their entire school career. I have friends who I've known since elementary school in my life. Trust me, they remember the awkward homemade outfits I would often wear to school, mainly because my mama loved to sew and could often make custom items much cheaper and better made than the clothes you would buy in the stores. But they also remember me as a person, the things I said or did that either caused them to like me or not. Some I've become more than just acquaintance with through the years as we grew and matured. But we came from a different time. Kids nowadays are savage as ever and very much can damage a child's social future forever. So I personally think the original poster had the child's best interest in mind, unlike the mother. I don't know for sure, but I would assume the private school comes from a social status rights for the mother to make her child endure such confusion in her daily life, which to me is despicable. Reddit's verdict was NTA, and my verdict is the same. So, what do you guys think? Do you think the original poster was the asshole for questioning the mother's motives and questioning her daughter's ability to fit in socially? And I don't mean fit in as in follow the standards of this world, because heck, even as an adult believer, it's hard to follow into the world's standards. I don't want to follow in their standards. That's not how I was created. I'm the type of person, if you tell me how to do something, I'm going to find a new way to do it, just because I like to do things the hard way, I guess. I like to go around the bend instead of cutting straight through, following in everyone else's footsteps. I'm not a very good follower. I never have been, and I never will be. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Leave your comments down below. And if you have any AITA topics that you'd like me to discuss, or you have a question of your own that you would like me to present to my community, I would love for you to do that. Go ahead and shoot me an email. It's at the end of this video in the card below. So thank you very much for your time, attention, and support. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.